This time around, the Three Blind Mice invited everyone to have fun with the Matchbox 33 Plymouth. That's it that you see there. I stared at this thing for a while because I had no idea what I was going to do with it. And then I'm starting to have a new rule for myself for the future. If I can't figure it out, rust it out. I need to work on my weathering skills. And this one seemed like a perfect one to try it on. Didn't hurt that it kind of had a oddly bent front bumper. You can barely see it, but I could see it. And so I thought, well, that works too. So took it apart, usual way, drilled it, tapped it, same old, same old. You've seen it 100 times, and so I'm ripping through it pretty quickly here. But the one thing I knew I was going to get rid of was the blue glass that you probably saw earlier there. There's the 256 screws that I threw into this one. This one had nice big posts on it, and so I could tap it. And these screws are a little bit longer than some of the ones I have, so when I have an opportunity to get rid of some of these, I take advantage of it. The casting had some rough spots on it, and so it went through the usual filing, cleaning the thing up, got rid of that. Even though I'm going to weather it, I still, you still want it to look halfway decent. I did some research on the internet, and I found some images of a particular Plymouth that I wanted to try and match. It had a really interesting rust pattern to it. So hit it with the matte black Army Painter primer. And you'll see I masked it, but that tape isn't on there down very tight, except around the front grille. I put it on loose because I wanted to have the black down, and then I kind of wanted to feather in gray areas. And again, this is based on an actual vehicle that I saw. And all I had was this gloss Rust-Oleum gray. But I thought, it'll work. I've got it. But you can see how doing the tape loosely allowed me to kind of feather it in. Unfortunately, using spray paint, rattle cans, you can't get the fineness that you see with airbrushing. And even though good old Eddie Bennett gave me an airbrush that he had, Eddie, I'm sorry I still haven't got around to using it. But I will. I'm closer every day. And so here you see, I decided I was going to I kept the wheels. I wasn't changing the wheels. And I thought, well, let me put it together because I want to weather it all as one chunk. And then I realized my stupidity here in a second. The blue glass is definitely going. But I got it all together. I'm looking at it. You saw me try and bend that front bumper a little bit there, and it's like, whatever. So I'm about to hit it with Nuln Oil, and I go, oh, no. I need to make that grill look better. So I wanted to I didn't want bright chrome around it, but I wanted to hit the Sharpie Silver around that front grill. And so then you see me putting it together for the second time. You'll notice I did hit the silver on the headlights, silver on the hinges, and door handles, that kind of thing. Small stuff. And the bumpers. Obviously, I had put the base in super clean and cleaned it off, de-chromed it, and then I just chromed the areas that I wanted on that base. Because there's a lot of plastic around those bumpers that I don't care for lack of a better way of putting it. I just wanted the supports for the bumpers and the actual bumpers themselves. So then I went over it liberally with Nuln Oil. And unfortunately, it kind of beat it up on me at times. And you might see that here, but it in large part because of the gloss coat of that gray, it beat it up in some areas. But, you just kind of work with it with the brush, get it in there, and it works out pretty well. Like I said, I'm keeping the wheels and they will get treated again with coloring. I did go over it with some of the AK Interactive weathering pencils. This is almost a commercial for AK Interactive as we go through here. And I blame Chuck over at Fine Valiant for making me head down this direction. It's like, I see Chuck use things and he uses them so wonderfully, and it's like, damn, I got to get some of that stuff and give it a try. And God bless him, the stuff is fantastic. I mean, his skills are far beyond mine, but this stuff is interesting. So there you see me using some of the interactive, AK Interactive Light Rust Wash, which is also pretty interesting. I wasn't, well, I'm not sure what the right way to put this is, but I wasn't really aware of how great the differences are sometimes in actually having some of these additional paints, how much easier they can make it for you, or how you can get things that are difficult to achieve otherwise. And so thankfully, I have some wonderful Patreon members that help me out with these things, and it makes it easier for me to justify spending a little money on these things that otherwise, I don't know. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for all I see on Chuck's channel. It's really helpful. I did go with the AK Interactive Matte Varnish. It's the first time I've tried this, even though I've had this sitting around for a little while. And so I wanted to brush it on. It levels pretty well and gives you a nice matte coat to work with. And you saw me use some dust effects earlier. That helped me get some of that grain that you see there with the look that I want. It's a more weathered gray look than just the spray paint would give you. And then I got out these three little guys. 3 different shades of rust from AK Interactive. And as I recall, these came in a box set, but you can buy them separately. And again, I'm trying to match some photographs, and I cut out, in the original footage, there would have been delays in here where you would have seen me dabbing this on at times, and then I'd disappear because I'd be looking at the pictures, and then I came back to it. This vehicle was more rusted on one side than on the other. The left side, the driver's side of the vehicle, has much more rust than the passenger side. And so I was really trying to match that effect as much as I could. And to be honest with you, I'm really happy with this. And I think, obviously, with more practice, I'll get better at this, but I think I'm learning as I go, and that's what this is all about. I decided to use a microcrystal clear to create clear windows in the vehicle, and I did do all of the windows. And I like the effect of the windows, the thickness, the old glass kind of look that it ends up having. So here's where we started, and I'll see here in just a second where I ended up. I think this is one of my better weathering effects that I've done to date. Not that it doesn't have a long ways to go, but it was interesting and fun. And again, there's a long ways to go, but I hope you enjoy this build. Thanks again to everyone that participates in the 3 Blind Mice events. Please check out the 3 Blind Mice Diecast channel. And check out all of the other builders in this. I can't wait to see what people do with this casting. Here's some glamour shots. I did use some tire black, as you can see on the wheels and tires, to give it a little bit better look. Thank you for watching these videos and following me along on this learning experience. And I'm going to keep trying to do these things better and better as we go. Everyone stay safe and healthy out there. Have fun with these little guys. And thanks again to my Patreon supporters. Catch y'all in the next one.